Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Jansi, Director of Marketing here at Rite, and I'm the moderator of today's webinar. And I'm glad to have each and every one of you joining us from around the world. Our virtual stage is shared by two leaders from Rite. First, we have Bala Murali, Head of Delivery and Center of Excellence, a seasoned professional with 20 years of hands on experience in cloud, infrastructure, and application management. His strategic acumen has consistently delivered outstanding results across diverse industries and geographies. Joining him is Raj Kamal, Head of Products at Rite, with 22 years in the Oracle ERP space, contributing significantly to digital transformation programs in Europe and US across various industries. Before we dwell into our main discussion, I'll give you a quick snapshot about Rite Software. We are a global IT solutions provider founded in the year 2006. We are headquartered in Houston, Texas, and we operate globally with offices in London and Bengaluru, India, along with an offshore delivery center in Hyderabad, India. With over 350 plus resources and a remarkable track record of 150 plus customers, Rite Software is an Oracle partner. We are a certified partner. At Rite, we bring not only vast industry knowledge, but also rich Oracle experience that spans across various sectors and regions. We have been at the forefront of empowering organizations with a comprehensive suite of services that includes business advisory, consulting, implementations and rollouts, major enhancements and customizations, data warehouse and BI solutions, managed services, and staff aug as well. In addition to our services, our suite of SaaS applications called Rite Suite, designed specifically to complement the Oracle ecosystem. These products are crafted with a focus on enhancing the efficiency and capabilities of organizations within the Oracle framework. And that's about quick brief about ourselves. In order to set the content on behalf of the audience, I would like to ask few questions that will potentially help you understand the purpose of RiteSync. So I would like to ask Bala Murali a few questions on behalf of you all. So Bala, can we get started?
Yes, sure.
Bala, can you just help us help us understand about RiteSync? What is RiteSync?
RiteSync at a heart is just a data synchronization tool for Oracle SaaS customers who are embarking the journey for Oracle SaaS, or they have already gone into Oracle SaaS. Oracle SaaS, when I mean Oracle SaaS, it means Oracle ERP Cloud, Oracle WMS Cloud, anything on Oracle SaaS. For customers, it's basically a data synchronization tool. But as we go through this presentation, you will notice and admire that there are various use cases which is extending to the core functionality of RiteSync. RiteSync was designed as to streamline the often tedious process of extracting data from Oracle SaaS and uploading it to other database or a data warehouse. And we have been doing it. We have got built-in connectors using REST, JDBC. We are able to seamlessly do data transfer and reduce the risk of errors. So that's what RiteSync is basically found for. And we have been innovating on RiteSync. Now we have connected with Oracle WMS Cloud. We have got pre-built dashboards. We minimize the latency, and we have started helping out customers who are with Power BI, Snowflake, and Incorta to empower their action organizations with actionable insights. And they don't need to be only tied up to Oracle OAC, Oracle Analytical Cloud, which is very costly per se. And that's the basis of RiteSync. So if you look at RiteSync, what RiteSync comes up with is in RiteSync, you will be able to synchronize any of your application tables from Oracle SaaS or reports from Oracle SaaS to your database. And the database can be Oracle, it can be Postgres, it can be MySQL or MS SQL Server. We will be able to synchronize that. When I say synchronize, it creates the whole replica of that same table back in that database. So we have a patent around the metadata management. And with that, we capture all the attributes of Oracle and bring it back to your database or a data warehouse. And not only that, we provide that data in a Parquet file format, which is for customers who already know, it is the most compressed format available for data transfer. It is used by all the new age uh, BI warehouse systems like Snowflake, Incota, and all. We provide data to them. Um, and we integrate with Power BI dashboards. Our Power BI COE has already created some of these Power BI dashboards based upon Oracle SaaS, which are pre-built already and which can be utilized. Are where we have worked with different customers who use Snowflake, and we can use whatever they have been using with. So that is the basis of it. And with Incorta, we have started the initial discussions to understand how do we connect to Incorta from a connector standpoint, where Incorta being one of those where it calls our APIs to transmit the data between Oracle SaaS into Incorta environment. That's a high level thought process which we have started discussing about.
Awesome. That's excellent. So, who would need RiteSync? Since like we have a lot of people from various industries present here, and they are in different stages of ERP implementation and using their ERP, Oracle ERP, and we would like to understand who would actually need RiteSync.
Raj, if you can, yeah. So the principal people who would need RiteSync are people who would want to synchronize their ERP data to their data warehouse. And these data warehouses are investments which they have made based upon their enterprise strategic decision to look at Snowflake, Incota, or it can be a Power BI or a legacy data warehouse. They would want to basically load the data from Oracle SaaS, right? So these are the primary use cases where they can start looking at RiteSync. So this is how the customers start with. But I will walk you through some of the other use cases which we have started seeing where customers have started using them. One of them is to capture for change audit, right? So customers have started using RiteSync to pick up certain tables where changes are being done and it is getting audited in another system where the reports of Oracle system is not to their needs. So they wanted a consolidated view of it from different applications. There are customers who have started using that. And there are customers who have started using RiteSync as an integration tool. What they do is they write their BIP reports with all their transformation logic, and they want this data to be basically passed on to another system. It might be a legacy system or another system which is bound by their database. So what we do is we load this data to their database. So it cuts down the need for an OAC to be done. Okay. OIC, as you see, is a pay-use model, and with RiteSync, it is very cost-effective. I would say that 1/6 of what OIC charges, right? So you can use RiteSync to do this. So and it cuts down. So once they do a report, you don't need another person who understands how OIC works, the integration works. So what we bring down is in a click of a button, they are able to get this report back to another system. It creates the metadata by itself. They don't need to tell how the metadata needs to be created. From the report, it understands what are the fields it is looking for, and it is able to create. So integration has become a primary use case using RiteSync. And what has happened is there are customers who have started using RiteSync to build their Apex-based applications where they don't want their users to be licensed inside SaaS, where these users have been using only read-only pages in SaaS, and they don't want them to be logging into SaaS to cut down on the license cost. They have brought in what are the table needs for those users, and they have started building applications outside SaaS. And these users can view the sales orders. It's not only for reporting needs, for any of the operational work. And in case if it wants to be loaded back, they load it back through an FPDI or a HSDL. They do that back. But this has started becoming a use case where to cut down user licenses, they have started using RiteSync, where they dump it to an database and have an Apex based application which is running around it. So for any tech enthusiast who is coming from an EBS background, this has become a primary use case. And as I was talking about an MDM based, the cloud is basically your master data management, and if you want to do a publish and subscribe, where you have lots of external systems which had to basically bound and get the data out of Oracle, that becomes very cumbersome. So to basically break it down to reduce the impact on Oracle SaaS, because you have sized your SaaS based upon certain web services needs, and to cut down on that, you can basically push it onto a database which takes that as the primary database for doing the publish and subscribe. So these are some of these use cases where the customers are used to.
Okay, thank you. My next question is, can you compare RiteSync with Oracle extraction toolset?
Yes, it's an important thing for customers to understand. We have though we are from RiteSync. We wanted to give a fair comparison for every architect who is present, who understands that this is what you are going to deal with, right? So as an architect, I love the way how BICC has been constructed. It has all the bells and whistles, but there are certain problems with BICC, and most of the customers who use RiteSync are customers who have used BICC. Because of the white spaces which exist in BICC, they have come back to RiteSync, right? BICC is optimized for high volumes, and it is provided by Oracle natively. But some of these limitations exist, right? BICC does not load the data into any of the databases. Okay, though there are connectors available for BICC, there are problems with internal to BICC where certain of these tables, like critical tables like flex value sets table is not there, not available for it to be imported. And it is built not for your need for application table migration, but it is built for an analytical engines database. So you will find that there are not lots of columns available. And though there are customization layers which are available, it is very cumbersome. You basically put in lots of resources to get it done, to schedule it and run it, because it provides you as just as a CSV. And again, there are other issues like when you have an cloud kind of a data, when double quotes come in, how do you deal with it? When an issue happens, who looks at it, right? The initial instances, they have used BICC, and there are customers who have come back to us because they were not able to maintain it. To maintaining it was becoming very costly for them. That is the biggest use case. And BICC is the most apt of all the other tools. BICC is the tool which can be used by customers, but most of the customers have failed because of that. And it does not include WMS Cloud. That is one. If you are a customer with WMS Cloud, BICC does not include that right now. And that is a straight away no, right? BIP reports are available for anybody who's coming from the EBS worlds or from PeopleSoft world. They understand BIP reports. But as I said, with BICC, it is not built for large volume. It does not have an orchestration layer. Um, it does not have a loading capability. It can deliver it to different channels, but it does not still have a delivery capability, right? So, and you need to basically do extensive development to get all your application tables out, right? So that is one of those. And HCM provides you with a good extract mechanism, but it is very limited with HCM, though it's good, but it is limited with HCM. And that also comes with development effort, and you don't have a loading capability. OAC is a tool which is very costly in nature for customers who can do OAC. They might not need RiteSync, right? to put it straight. But OAC is very costly to have it, and there is a huge implementation cycle which needs to happen. Right. If OAC has been set to be your enterprise business dashboard solution or an insight solution, then OAC is the best choice, but it is a very costly solution right away. Right. So that is the comparison. From RiteSync, what do we offer? Right. We synchronize to the DB, as I said earlier, and we now have basically got the WMS cloud as part of it. So WMS, why I have been looking at WMS cloud differently than other SaaS clouds are. WMS cloud, Oracle has acquired a product called Lockfire. So the architecturally, it's very different. It does not use the BIP architecture. It uses a different architecture of REST APIs and others, right? So it uses a different architecture, and it needs to be architected differently to pull data from it using REST APIs and others, right? So that's the reason why WMS clouds are different, and we are the first ones to do it, right? I would say that we are the starters of getting WMS cloud as part of a data synchronization tool, right? And we have flexible scheduling available, though there are recommendations which we provide. We get the schedules which are there in BICC are on a day basis, but what we can do is we can go at a hourly basis. For like in a case that if you have posted into GL at the month end, if you want the GL balances to be done hourly for that day, you can do it with RiteSync, right? Specifically. And citizen developers, as I was talking about, some of these BIP reports which can be done, citizen developers can start using RiteSync, pull the data across to the other systems and start using it. So your big project where you had to create an implementation, data pipeline, and all those things can be cut down if you have a good functional person sitting and he knows how to write a report. You can cut down the whole cycle of that, right? And it's a very cost-effective solution. And we have it around. We have done lots of assessments, and we do notifications to enable to make sure that all these synchronizations are happening properly, and we provide you with reports, right? So this is the major comparison which we did with Oracle and RiteSync. Okay.
Okay. These insights are valuable. However, can you give us some customer success stories which will help us relate real time?
Yes. Yes. So let's walk through. So these are customers of RiteSync in different domains, right? We were not sure what domain each of you are coming from. So we wanted to put in different domains of customers so that you understand, right? So let's say that I have taken a banking domain customer. They are moving out their specific Oracle HCM to Workday, right? So they are moving out from Oracle HCM to Workday, right? Why would they want to use RiteSync, right? They are moving away. But they had a dual entry system for quite some time. They wanted to keep their systems. They wanted to basically run through reports to make sure that everything is aligned, as well as they wanted to do an archival of their data, which is there in HCM Cloud. And one of the recommendations came from Oracle itself to use a tool like us, right, to get the whole data back into Snowflake. And their data is more than 12 years of data. So we see huge amounts of data with them because they run payroll within that. The pay and balances table was touching around 1 billion records, right? We took some time, but we were able to migrate all 1 billion records, right? So we can migrate. So when customers come in, what is your performance, right? So that is one question which comes in, right? The basically the full file, which is basically the major file, which is the first file, we tend to say that it is between 10 million and 20 million. Now we are able to easily migrate 50 million of data across, right? With this customer, we were able to get lots of 500 million tables across to the other stream, to Snowflake, right? We provided them, they wanted specifically in a very specific format for Snowflake. We provided it in that format. So that is for a banking domain. And one of the other customers is our internal AMS customer. They came back after testing out the waters with different tools, BIP, BICC. They came back to us and asked us if our tool can work for them, right? So they wanted a cost-effective analytical solution put on Power BI. They wanted the data to be there, right? So they wanted their CFO office to have dashboards which gives them the revenue within short notice, right? So the revenue outlooks they wanted to look at a very short notice. The income statements had to be built very quickly, right? So we were able to migrate. So they use majorly on the financial side of it. They have around 150 tables they work with. So we basically post everything to MS SQL Server, which is hosted in AWS. So just from a latency standpoint, we don't see that kind of a latency, right? We basically have a connector to MS SQL Server and which pushes the data, and they are using it near real time, right? So they are using it for their dashboarding and for their insight. And the other customer is a pharmaceutical and food customer who is based out of Egypt. So we are working with them. They wanted to migrate all the tables, right? Whatever tables they have data with, they wanted to identify and migrate all the tables, synchronize on a daily basis. Right. So whenever there is a change, they wanted to get it migrated. So we think that they use around 4,000 plus tables and we migrate that. So we are able to get all their application tables migrated to their Oracle DB, and each of them have a different DB. Like the banking customer had it in Snowflake, the infrastructure customer had it in MS SQL Server, and this customer had it in Oracle DB. Right? We are able to migrate. So this customer is using RiteSync for a different use case. So he is going to use it for building reports and building solutions on top of the data. They did not want to build it on Oracle SaaS because they felt that VBCS is they did not have that skill set with them, and they did not want to have that acumen to build it on VBCS. They said that okay, let's build it on Apex, which they already knew, and they had other tool sets which can connect to an Oracle DB. So they felt it needs to be migrated to the other DB. That's better choices. So these are some of our customer use cases as well as our success stories. Okay, all of them we have been migrating, and it's an incremental load which runs on a daily basis. For certain tables, it runs on a hourly basis. So we have been doing along all through this.
Thank you, Bala. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your attention during the presentation. Now let's take this next step and dive into a live demo of a product.
This is basically a landing dashboard of RiteSync. It tells you all the modules which are getting synced right now. It tells you this is the PGF module, and all those details are there, right? And the processes which are running currently, and how many of them errored out. So this dashboard is a configurable dashboard. If based upon the customer needs, we create that, right? So now coming back, so this is the most important screen of RiteSync, where you come in and you create both your source as well as destination here. The source can be an ERP cloud or a WMS cloud or MySQL or an Oracle DB, or just want to place the files in a S3 bucket. You just want to pick up certain tables and you want to place them, right? So you can create your own connectors here, right? Once you do this connectors here, you basically create this is basically a destination, like an Oracle DB and MS SQL DB are a destination. You basically provide what kind of connections you want and the authentication. Like, let's see, I will create one connection. This is similar to what we do in OAC, right? So, and you can basically use an Oracle wallet or an user a basic authentication based, right? So you can connect to that DB and you can set it up, right? Once you have set the connections in, you go back to something called an instance where you pick up Like you pick it up as Oracle ERP Cloud, or you pick up your source, right? It can be any of your source. And the biggest advantage with RiteSync is you can have multiple pods connected at the same time. Why would you need it, right? Because you might want to have your production running where your production is getting synced to 1 DB, and you might want to have an UAT also, the UAT instance synced to another DB of that, right? With RiteSync, you can have both source and that target can be linked. So basically the linkage between the source and the target. From production, it can go to multiple destinations as well as from multiple pods to multiple destinations. So both of them are available. Okay. So let's say that if I pick up Oracle Cloud as my source and I say that I want to move it to Oracle DB, right? You come here and it lists down. So basically it has gone into this Oracle ERP Cloud, which we have configured there, and it picks up all the table details. Okay. When it picks up the table details, it tries to understand what is the total number of rows the table has. Let's say that if I'm for PGR, I'm saying this table, it understands how many blocks of data it has and what is the average row length. If you see this, the average row length of this table is higher than normal. So let's say that 200 is the normal limit, which we say. So for this table, the average row length is higher. It might be due to multiple reasons. It might be an club data which might be sitting, or the number of columns might be higher. So at the end of the day, you might want to understand and then start loading this data. Okay. So let's say that I want to do it on a daily basis and click on it. I'm doing a save. Okay. So now what has happened is if you go to module overview, if you look at this PJR, sorry. So this was the table which we picked up. So it is enabled for synchronization. It will start synchronizing. Okay. So once it is enabled for synchronization, it will start coming through. So this is get called a module overview, where all your module tables are listed, how many tables are listed, when was the enable date, when was the last sync time. All these details are put in, right? And you have something called a transaction overview, where if you go, like, this is the table which we picked up right now, and it got processed with the insert count of this, and it got pushed to that database, and it gives you something called a correlation ID. So this basically is an internal thing for your technical team to validate in case if they start looking at it. So this is basically to understand, right? So it basically picks up all the file data, it pushes the table, the insert counts, all these details are there. And if you see this is basically set as 2000, right? So this table might have multiple sets of rows, but it would have segmented that and it would have tried to load, okay, to basically optimally load that. Okay. So the module overview and the module selector will give you the whole information of how this whole thing works. Okay. And this is the basis of it. And you can have multiple connections. As I said, the connections are not limited. You will be able to see all the connections here coming up, and you will be able to use them. Okay. Any questions? I think.
Well, we will have the
And
Q&A
let
at the
me
last.
just I will do one more thing on the WMS cloud, just to let's look at WMS cloud. Okay. I think WMS Cloud is in another instance. Let me log in. So this is OAuth enabled. So if you have a SAML based authentication, we can enable that as well. So we have enabled OAuth right currently. Let's say that if you want to do it for WMS Cloud, uh, So it lists down all the tables. So the biggest difference between that is it is not coming from the ERP cloud. The way it comes as is at an entity level, but it is able to pull all the data from it and you will be able to sync it. So not many tools in the market can do that for WMS cloud currently. Okay, so we just wanted to highlight that as well. Okay. That is the same thing. The process remains the same. You basically pick it up for a weekly, daily, hours. You say that this is every 1 hour you want to sync in, and it will start syncing. And in this same thing, you can pick up an instead of application object, you can pick up something called an report, and you can start syncing that as well. So you have both the options. You can go at application table level as well as at a report level. Right. And there is one more option which we provide is for customers who come where they want to understand. Let's say that they want to go at a business process level, like they want to do it as procure to pay or order to cash, and they don't know which table they need to pick up. From our experience with Oracle, we have been there with Oracle for 20 plus years, so we understand what needs to be done. So all these tables are put in right away. So you have all the tables which are needed for this business process. So you can start syncing all these tables in a single click. Okay, you can want if you want, you can basically click on it and you can say that I want to basically sync all these tables in one single click, and you can give your sync frequency. It will start doing it, and you can do it for procure to pay, order to cash, every other business objects and processes level. Okay, so all these tables are listed down for you.
We have questions from our audience. Are we covering any practical scenario how we extract from SaaS through sync and transfer to target system? It's a question from Chandra.
Hey Bala, sorry. Yeah, I think we covered, right? So you connected like source system and also target system. So
yeah.
the data, how it is transferring, right? So
yeah,
you covered it already. Yeah, that's
okay. Okay.
So it's like a middleware, like OAC, but with some storage, like data sync from source system and transferring to targeting system. Right?
Yeah, so it's like OAC, but it is in OAC for each one of them. You need to create a different connector, but in one single shot, you can get all these tables listed. That's the biggest difference. It is, I would not say it as a full-fledged integration product because OAC does more than that, right? It has a huge orchestration engine on the background. It is basically for application tables to get migrated. For certain use cases, it can be used as an integration option. But it is not an OAC. It is not an OAC replacement.
Yeah, thank you. We have a question from Satya Pradeep. Satya, we have unmuted you if you want to have a conversation.
Okay, so when we create a new connection, new sync connection, so how this data structure will go to the target database? So does it create a new schema for every, if we select O2C, does it create a schema, new tables by default?
By default, it will create new tables. It does not create schema. So basically, when you create the connection, right, you basically allow that user for that specific schema. It creates new tables. So whatever tables you basically pick up, it creates the whole metadata of the table of what Oracle has. It creates that. And the other additional advantage, which I might have missed out in highlighting, is if there is a table change. What we have seen is every quarterly patch, we see that Oracle updating 100 plus tables, right? And because of that, if there are additional columns which are going to be there, so it will take care of that. If the table is already present and if there is a new column which is coming in, it will alter the table and it will bring up those column details as well. Okay, so it will create the metadata of the table there. So the schema is based upon the user who the connection is given to. We don't create a schema, but we create the table there. Did I answer you, Satya?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
It does not hold it in our system, but during transformation it brings in, and let's say that for a certain use case like for Snowflake, they want to basically have it in Parquet file format. At that time, we convert it in our system and then we send it across. We don't store it as such. We don't store it in our database, but we convert it in our database and we send it across. Like for database synchronization, right? There is no storage at all. We directly send it across.
So, sir, in WMS Cloud, how the incremental load will happen, sir?
Yes, WMS Cloud has something called mod_TS. So basically, based upon that, the same concept as the ERP cloud. So every updates which are handled comes back to that column, and we pick up that column as our primary column for checking for changes, and then we pull in all the records which are available, even through REST APIs.
Okay.
And we send it across.
So what medium you're using? Is it through REST API or?
We use all of them. So for database connections, we use JDBC, bulk loaders. For extraction, we use multiple methods, right? For WMS Cloud, even for Oracle, right? Oracle ERP Cloud, we use multiple methods. We find out the optimized method and we pull the data from. Not always REST. For WMS Cloud, there are 3 possible methods for us to pull the data from. Okay. Like it has web reports, it has scheduled reports, and it has REST APIs. So we determine based upon the schedule time what is the best, and we pull the data from that.
So is there any data volume limit?
Volume limit is not there. The SaaS sizing will limit you, and the only consideration is how do you want to schedule it, right? The first full file which needs to get loaded is going to take some time. So that needs to be taken care. But after that, how much incremental volumes are you looking at and what is the time you are going to schedule? So as of now, the product does not have. So as I said, for one of our banking customers, we were able to get 500 million records. Okay. Go through. So not most of the enterprises have more than 500 million tables. If it is a recent cloud migrated instance, right? So 500 million we have done. So as of now, we don't see it as a restriction, but we would consider it based upon customer to customer basis.
So when we are creating an adapter, right? So ERP. So
yes.
are we going to use SaaS credentials, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, when we are creating an adapter. Okay. So it internally connects the BIP server.
Yes, it internally connects to BIP servers as well as to REST APIs for us to validate, not only BIP. Okay, because to validate the metadata and all, for changes and all, we connect. For data extraction, it goes through that BIP route because that is the same WebLogic server which everybody uses. But we use multiple methods as well. For the table metadata, to find out if there are changes which are there and what is your current version. Those kind of knowledge. And so just to be clear, we have a huge product set other than Convert, we have other than RiteSync, we have Convert and other products, and Convert is already in Oracle Marketplace. So as part of it, we basically want to bring in the current version and details of it to fetch the metadata so that we understand if the metadata has changed recently. Okay, so we understand that there is some intelligence which we started adding to our tool. Okay, it's not only BIP. Okay, on the background.
So, but what credentials we are using while creating? I mean, while pulling the
for
data, right?
But normally we have used for very specific roles. Okay, the integration specialist, the BIP admins. Okay, we ask for certain roles and they basically create a user for RiteSync because this is read only, right?
Got it. So basically, we create regular practice. We create a separate user for RiteSync, right? What are the roles, responsibilities needed? We attach to that user, and that user credentials we are going to use in RiteSync when we are creating an adapter.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Bala, for the insightful demo, and thank you everyone for your questions. Your time and contributions have made today's discussion about RiteSync truly engaging. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Thank you.